I always tell everybody, I don't go in there looking for the knockout. I go looking for the win. But if he get out of line, he's going to be the next one down.
Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup.
A great fight. The reason I have so much confidence because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents.
Terence Crawford clashed with Canelo in a fiery press conference. He stressed that his focus is on winning inside the ring, but warned that any disrespect or crossing the line could make it personal. His bold words highlighted his sharp mindset and determination, proving he is fully prepared both mentally and physically, leaving no question about his confidence.
You were
there is stuff.
You were
See,
you were
you
hold talking to. Let Aaron.
You were
Because you keep
too
talking like
emotional.
you
Too
doing all
emotional,
that
man.
talking.
That's how
You
we
doing all
get
that
it.
talking.
You can't
niggas
be gotta
always
come back.
talking.
You can't come back.
He don't talk, and you talking too much.
Hey, this
You want
fight,
some attention.
Some icon right here. This is gonna be legendary right here.
Female ass.
See y'all tuning in. This is a legendary old school fight.
Get out. Some attention. Put the camera on him because that's what he's doing. Showing out like a female. Let him finish, bud. Go ahead, EJ.
Greg Hackett has openly praised Terence Crawford's chances against Canelo Alvarez, pointing to his fearless approach both inside and outside the ring. Hackett explains that Crawford never shows hesitation or intimidation, which sets him apart in a division where many fighters struggle against Canelo's dominance. He makes it clear that Crawford's confidence is not arrogance, but the result of years of discipline, consistent wins, and adaptability. Hackett believes confidence is a fighter's most powerful weapon, and Crawford brings it into every fight. Taking on Canelo, widely regarded as one of the best pound-for-pound, requires strong mental toughness, and Hackett is certain Crawford has plenty of it. He sees this matchup not as a difficult climb, but as another stage for Crawford to prove he excels under pressure.
They taking Crawford. You got people that was taking Crawford. They taking Canelo.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
It should be that way because we talking about a great fight here. We talking about two great athletes. So when it's like this, it's better for the betting. You know what I mean? All the people that like to bet, it's better for them. You know what I mean? Because nobody knows where the money gonna land. The reason I have so much confidence in this fight, you know, thinking that it's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents in the past were nervous, scared from the beginning. I don't think Bud feel that way at all. I think we're going to get a good rumble on our hands. You know what I mean? It's just going to come down to the big question for Bud is, can he take the shot? You know what I'm saying? The question I think for Canelo is, does he get old? I say that for a reason. He got a lot of fights, bro. He got, I think he going on almost 70 fights. You know what I'm saying? Or he a little bit under 70. That's a lot of fights for current time. You know what I'm saying? And Bud got a lot of gas still left, but he's older as well. You know what I mean? A lot of people would like to give him shit for not being able to take a shot, or not that he didn't take the shot, but getting buzzed with some shots at lower weight classes. So it's like, how can he handle himself at 168 pounds? But you have to understand the physical to understand how. You know what I mean? I'm not about to get into all of that, but you know what I mean? I do understand he will be a lot more sturdy at 68. I mean, if you smart, you've seen it at 47 versus
Adam Smith, a respected boxing commentator, sees the potential fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez as a huge challenge for Crawford, but one he can win. He highlights Crawford's sharp boxing IQ, noting how quickly he adjusts to opponents and takes advantage of their weaknesses with accuracy. Smith adds that Crawford's speed is a major factor since Canelo's defensive style can leave gaps for a smart, fast fighter to use. He predicts the bout could be decided on points, with Crawford outthinking and outmaneuvering Canelo over 12 rounds. Smith calls it a fight that could be one of the most exciting in recent years, with both fighters testing each other at the highest level. In his view, a points victory for Crawford is realistic, showing how boxing rewards skill, strategy, and intelligence.
13th, it's billed as fight of the century. I do feel as though this one, for such an unbelievably good fight, the prospect of, it has gone under the radar a bit. We've spoken more about fights that are not even.
No, but Eubank Ben, how much you spoke about?
No,
that?
I love that fight.
Yeah, but compared to these two guys,
Yeah,
But that's in Britain. That's prime time here. It's the football casuals. I think the problem with this fight is it is just a fabulous boxing matchup and one with all sorts of curiosity between two superstars. The Ring magazine's dedicated the entire magazine, but this is boxing. It's hardcore boxing. I think Canelo is known. I think Canelo, obviously the Mexican machismo that holds all the super middleweight titles, nearly 70-odd fights. He's been phenomenal. I think he's 35 now. But for Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup, the two of them, because you've got the big guy, the strong super middleweight, really, really cultured, wonderful fighter in Canelo. But is he just slightly, ever so slightly, fine margins past his peak? And you've got Crawford, who needs this fight as his coming out party. The big news, it's on Netflix, so he'll get the attention. Can Crawford do it? It's a huge step again in weights, but I think he's got the speed, and I think he's got the know-how, I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week, to cause problems for Canelo. And I think that
Ade Oladipo takes a more critical view of the matchup, saying that although it has gained massive attention, it lacks the special intrigue seen in recent big fights like Alexander Usyk against Daniel Dubois. He argues that Crawford versus Canelo does not offer the same mix of competitiveness and suspense, mainly because of the natural weight gap and the widespread belief that Canelo holds the advantage. Unlike Usyk versus Dubois, which delivered a true clash of styles and real unpredictability, Oladipo feels this fight seems less evenly matched. In his opinion, much of the hype comes from promotion, rather than the actual dynamics inside the ring.
Like, it's been billed as the biggest fight of the century, SummerSlam the biggest fight of all time. Let's calm down, people. Let's breathe a little bit. It's a big fight. But it doesn't quite feel like those things. It doesn't feel like the biggest fight of the century. Like, this doesn't feel like, and maybe because I work these events, so it's slightly different, but this doesn't feel like Usyk Fury, for example. It doesn't feel like that at all. That felt like, oh my God, this is going to happen. Undisputed heavyweight title fight. Remember, this is an undisputed super middleweight title fight. It just feels a bit lacking of something. Like, I can't believe that Max Kellerman is now part of this. And again, for nostalgia, we haven't got a Max Kellerman face-off. Like, how Canelo speaks great English now. How we haven't got that? Just to kind of give it a bit of spice, because Canelo, with his English, it's like he's only learnt the bad words. He does chat a lot of shit. So I almost feel like we should have done that. Maybe because it's on Netflix, it hasn't got a bit of a push from ESPN. Obviously, there's no DAZN stuff, obviously, because DAZN are not covering it. I feel like it's lacking something. And maybe because both of them don't trash talk either. Because when I think of the biggest fights of the last sort of 15, 20 years, you've always had one side of the fight, or one side is a big trash talker. In some instances, two. The biggest fights, again, Usyk Fury. Fury was happy to do all the trash talking. Sold it. Event went massive. Mayweather, Pacquiao. Mayweather is happy to do all that, right? Mayweather, McGregor. Hence why that went just colossal. Because you got two of the biggest trash talkers ever doing it. This time, Canelo ain't saying anything. Crawford ain't saying anything. Feels a bit flat. Feels a little bit flat.
Promoters have pushed hard to position Crawford versus Canelo as the biggest fight of the century, turning it into a cultural event. They have drawn in a global audience and built excitement that goes far beyond regular boxing fans. Netflix's involvement has taken the hype even higher with exclusive coverage, behind-the-scenes access, and non-stop content that makes the fight feel massive. Through documentaries, interviews, and press conferences promoted worldwide, the matchup has reached homes that normally would not pay attention to boxing. This strategy blends sports with entertainment, creating anticipation on the level of the biggest crossover events in history.
You to the standard you said. They're tagging this the fight of the century, colossal, super fight, Netflix, Dana White, right? So now we got to look at it. You can't tell me something. See, I'm not the type of person where you could pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. If that's you and you're going to let somebody urinate on your leg and tell you it's raining, that's on you. But I don't do that. I'm a critical thinker, and I'm not just going to listen to what you tell me and see if the facts don't support that, right? So if this is the fight of the century, let's look at it. Boxing tickets, Canelo versus Crawford, right? Since August 29th, tickets listed, $2,566 value, $7 million plus worth of tickets. Hey, bro, $7 million worth of tickets.
Veteran analyst Al Bernstein gives a blunt take saying that despite the huge promotion, this is not the fight boxing fans were truly asking for. He believes the demand for Crawford versus Canelo was not natural, since many wanted Crawford to face opponents in his own division or Canelo to fight challengers closer to his weight. Bernstein points out that while the matchup looks appealing on paper, it lacks the genuine rivalry or storyline that makes a fight feel unmissable. He adds that although the promotion has created plenty of noise, real interest among hardcore fans is lower than for other major showdowns. His view reflects the wider criticism that the fight is more of a marketing product than a response to true fan demand.
Have these two level of fighters meet. Where does this rank at?
I think it's one of those fights that, the interesting thing is, it wasn't as if every boxing fan said, boy, I can't wait to see Canelo fight Terence Crawford. In other words, it wasn't one of those fights, like there were more boxing fans that said, gee, I'd like to see Canelo fight David Benavidez. But having said that, I mean, among the hardcore boxing fans. Having said that, what they did, and this happens sometimes in boxing, they come up with a matchup that wasn't on everybody's mind, but kind of makes sense. And the proof is in the pudding. If you do one of those kind of matches and the interest is not there, you're going to find that out.
For sure.
In this case, obviously the interest was there because they've sold. I mean, I went online and looked at the ticket sales and everything, and they've sold. Looks like they've already sold 30,000, 40,000 seats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I believe
there's
they'll
not
sell
that
it
many
out.
left in Allegiant Stadium. So that alone is an indicator. The amount of attention and coverage the fight has gotten, and this is one of those fights that will also have a good barometer as we get closer to the fight. How much is the mainstream sports media covering the fight?
Yeah.
You know, it used to be in the old days, big fights were covered all the time by the mainstream sports media, not so much in recent years. And so that's always a barometer of whether it, really is as big as we think. As far as the actual matchup is concerned, when it was originally announced, I thought they were going to have a hard sell in convincing people that Crawford could come up 2 weight classes and take on a 168-pounder because he already moved.
Another common view on this fight is that even though it will draw a massive audience, it was not something fans were strongly asking for. Many believe the size and weight gap gives Canelo a big edge, which could make the result feel predictable. The real excitement rests on whether Crawford can beat those odds and deliver a historic upset. If he pulls it off, the fight will be remembered as a shocking moment that redefines the underdog story in boxing. But if Canelo wins as most expect, it may be written off as dull or inevitable. This captures the mix of hope and doubt, with fans wanting an upset but fearing a foregone conclusion. The question is whether Crawford's skill can truly overcome the size difference.
Many tickets available for this fight because of that undercard. This promotion has been it's very interesting, man. Number one, there's no real reason for this fight to take place. Terence Crawford and Canelo. Nobody was asking for the fight. There's no natural connection between the two fighters. There's just two names that people think are on the top of a hypothetical list called the pound for pound list that many people act as if it's real. So they're two top pound for pound people, and they put them together and think this makes some big magic match. It may be a magic match once they get in the ring if Terence Crawford can overcome Canelo Alvarez. It's got a real potential for that. But what happens if the fight winds up just being what more than likely it'll be, which is Terence Crawford trying to get away from the bigger, stronger Canelo Alvarez? Because again, he's jumping so many weight classes. That's the gimmick. That jumping the weight class is the gimmick that is supposed to be attracting people to this fight. Gimmicks are not gonna pull it. And you can't tell me of the people. Now, there's gonna be many people in the stadium. People go to the fight for sure. There are gonna be people out there for that event. But you can't tell me that that particular event with the fights that they have on that card is going to be some memorable night of boxing, other than maybe it taking place in the main event. You have people. Many of these fighters are not from the United States. As I look from them, I mean, I would have to go out and see in the United States how many fighters from the United States.
Observers have been surprised by Terence Crawford's transformation at 175 pounds, well above his natural weight class. Photos and reports show him looking lean and muscular with a thicker neck and wider shoulders, giving the impression that he is ready to take on Canelo's physical strength. This change has eased concerns that Crawford might be undersized, instead showing that he has built his body to handle the demands of a heavier division. His preparation points to serious strength and conditioning work focused on adding power while keeping his speed and agility. For fans, the sight of a bulked-up yet sharp Crawford brings hope that he can match Canelo physically while still relying on the technical skill that defines his style. His new look has sparked debate about whether size will really decide the fight.
Absolutely ripped, absolutely shredded. What looks to be about 175. Now he fights next Saturday, a week out from the fight. It's a week out from the weigh-in, so I'm sure that you look at Terence Bud Crawford right there, and you see he is absolutely shredded right there. And this is a week before the weigh-in, right? So I'm pretty sure he's probably weighing about 174, something of that magnitude, maybe about 173. 175 is probably the max he is at right now, because obviously the weight is at 168, and he's a week out. So he might be around 173, drop 5 pounds next Friday for the weigh-in, right? So Terence Crawford, as I showed you guys, is training and putting a mass in his shoulders and in his legs. As you can see here, once again, right? He hasn't gained a lot of muscle mass except in his shoulders, okay? When you look at Terence Crawford in previous fights, previous weigh-ins, his arms look pretty much the same. His neck and his shoulders is where you can see a clear difference from fights in the past, right? When you look at his midsection, his core, right, you can see the water weight, right? So right now, it's going to look like his midsection, his core is going to look bigger than what it actually.
Canelo Alvarez's background speaks for itself. Turning professional at just 15, he has spent years battling some of the biggest names in boxing. Unlike many fighters, he is known for strong fundamentals highlighted by one of the best jabs in the sport, a rock-solid chin, and the ability to change tactics mid-fight. His legacy is built on championships across multiple weight classes and a steady record of performing under pressure. For Crawford, taking on someone with that level of experience is the ultimate challenge. Canelo's mix of skill, toughness, and ring IQ makes him a serious threat to any opponent, no matter their style.
Terence Crawford, a guru in the ring? Absolutely. He is one of the best fighters ever created in humanity. But you cannot say that I'm going to come in with 5 pounds taped across my arms and legs and then go against Canelo Alvarez. He's not going against some dude who doesn't have counter punches, who doesn't have a ring IQ. Canelo's been fighting since 15 and is one of the few fighters who has taken literally less punishment than, say, Caleb Plant, who has like 25 fights. If you look at the amount of punishment that Caleb Plant has taken in his fights, Canelo has probably taken less punishment than that. And he's coming in hungry. And he's going to come in with 87 billion Mexicans in the ring walk, everybody flying flags. You don't know what Crawford's stage fight is going to be, coming in front of 70,000 people. Canelo's been there. He's going to put the shoes to Crawford.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more updates and catch you next time.